knocking upon my door. Please go away, don't come round here no more. Took all I got to give, now there's a stain no more. No more. Oh, oh, oh. I never thought it would be so bad. Dark cloud above me, change the life we once had. Ooh, scared me bad. We shook for hours, you shook us there. One step closer, one shade darker than we ever had. A blink ago, no man had ever seen. Left down to all my dreams, brought destruction all across the land. You left me homeless, ain't no place I can stay.
The word gateway can summon up all manner of ideas in our mind. In the Western Christian world, it could be the gateway to heaven. To pagans, it could be the portal to the Celtic underworld, with its myriad deities and heroes. To clairvoyants, we could be talking about the gateway to the spirit realm, just like the shaman who induces trance states to see the parallel world of dead ancestors and earth spirits. To scientists and theoretical physicists, we could be discussing the quantum world of parallel or holographic universes, or even the psychologist's altered states of existence. All these countless beliefs are linked together, through time and space in a way never before realised. They are all evolved methods of the very same process, which we shall discover was at the root of all religions, and is implicated in the origin of consciousness. It is all well and good having a paradise or heavenly home that we disappear to after physical death, but to many of us we would like to experience this other world now, to know for ourselves that there is a better place awaiting us. There may also be aid to be gained from this other world, such as healing and prophecy from the deities or spirits that reside there. These inner concepts of the mind evolved over vast periods of time and through hundreds of wonderful and mighty civilizations into anthropomorphic resonances that remain with us today. The archetypal figures of these hidden worlds were brought out of the mind for all to see, as the sun, moon and stars, as the spirits of the trees and animals around us, as the sibyls of the underwater realms and the ghosts of the mountains. In the same respect, these everyday natural objects were taken inside and given life as human figures. But can the gods really have emerged from within our own mind? Have we really created over vast periods of time the one God, who is the manifestation of all those that went before? Is there no spirituality of real worth? And if there is, can it be described using modern scientific language? In order to discover the true gateways to this other world, we must try and discover the beliefs of the ancients with regard to the modern psychological term for it, the void, a term incidentally also used by the ancient Hindus. This void is nothing more than the space within the atom. The majority of the atom, in fact. You see, the truth is that all things are made up of atoms, and all atoms are basically empty. They have a void which is little understood. The same can be said of the universe, which is made up of not what can be seen, but what cannot be seen. The Sanskrit word akashic means the fundamental and etheric substance of the universe. This etheric substance is thought to fill all space and to link all things together. Because this mystical substance connects everything to everything else, then a vast record of knowledge is built up, and it is into these akashic records that we can supposedly tap. In the West, we call these records the Book of Life, a location where the full extent of our lives is recorded, awaiting our ascendancy to heaven. So let's think about this for a moment. The Akashic records are where all the information of the entire universe resides, and the word itself means the substance of the universe. So the substance of the universe holds the records of everything from all time. But what kind of person is capable of firstly discovering this point in the cycle, and secondly mastering it? Whoever it is, he or she must be dedicated, have a spiritual grounding, and have been through an extremely long training period. Shaman are a worldwide phenomenon, appearing in Asia, the Pacific, North and South America, Siberia, Russia, Scandinavia, and Europe. There can be only 2 or 3 explanations for this worldwide existence. Either they were part of an ancient and universal system of knowledge and religion, or the very beliefs and methods are archetypal and held within each and every one of us. If the effect of entering the gateway to the other world is archetypal, as the evidence shows, then we would easily imagine that the phenomena could have erupted universally, worldwide, without outside influence. Added to this the emerging scientific fact that ESP could now be proven, then the archetype could simply be coming from the collective mind of these entangled and superconscious individuals. The aim of the shaman was to free his thoughts from his physical body. In the same way that Buddhists and Hindus try to achieve the same result, the shaman attempts to remove the obstacles or crush the chaotic serpent. He must call down the positive power of God from within the void, the solar divinity, the sun within. Just as the Spirit touched the Christian apostles and the flames licked above their heads, so too this powerful spirit comes upon the shaman and is called Gulmanek, which means illuminated or shining. The shaman literally becomes the shining one on earth. The Egyptian priest of the dead was the one who could contact the other world through magical incantations and would make the way or path easier for the soul of the deceased. In essence, the Egyptian priesthood was simply nothing more than an evolved shamanic brother. These similarities can be shown to be universal, and it is these methods found from the Americas to the Middle East which show that the shaman process was much more than archetypal phenomena. In Greek mythology, one had to cross the river Styx to enter the underworld. The Styx was therefore the dark or void-like watery gateway. In order to cross this gateway, one would have to pay the ferryman. In this respect, the hidden language is telling us that we must pay or take one shaman in order to enter the gateway. The coin carried on into European usage right into the medieval period. Etymology helps us with tracking down the shaman of Europe. The sorcerer concept, used in more than association with the shaman, also gives rise to the Sanskrit term Vidya, which means wisdom, knowledge, or science. The Vidya were possessors of knowledge and are often called Karan, which means to fly or move in the air like the shaman. They were often considered tricksters like the early shaman and later witches. In fact, this is the link, as Vidya is the root of Wicca or witch. There are further etymological links between the various cultures. In Ireland, the queen of the other world was known as Babd, which means crow or demon. In Welsh, bod was a kite, also relating to flight. In Turco-Tartar, boga was a shaman. In Mongolian, bogda was holy. In Celtic, a bog woman was a sorceress or witch, and all relate to the modern bogeyman slang with which we still frighten our children. We also find that the Finnish word noita means witch, and originally it referred to the people who practice the technique known as lovi, which means trance or state of ecstasy. It also means whole, and is the term used for the void between heaven and earth, an obvious allusion to the in-between state or the hypnagogic. Often these experiences are psychotropic, with soft glowing lights and beautiful unearthly music. The luminosity is often overwhelming and remembered strongly, giving rise to the shining title. These experiences of the shaman, witch, drug taker or alien abductee are all rooted in the same mental process. The true differences are in the fact that only the shaman and witch are prepared, like the Egyptian priest who prepares the deceased. This enables the ascent or descent into the otherworld to be controlled and manipulated rather than confused and abstract, like that of the drug taker or alien abductee. This does not mean that the shaman does not take drugs to enter the trance, he certainly does, but it does mean that he controls the usage and is conscious of what he is doing. This is the controlled process, developed over thousands of years and held secret or sacred by millions of shaman over time. It is the complex result of an internal process, visualized and imaged as only man knows how. It is now time to take a look at science in relation to the journeys of the shaman. The Earth has subtle energy waves which some incorrectly call ley lines, and which the Chinese call feng shui or dragon paths. These forces are scientifically proven to exist, although much that is blatantly unscientific is claimed for them. When we alter the environment, we alter the balance of these paths, and in turn the subtle balance between the Earth and the universe. We are also beginning to understand the effects we are having, not only on the environment, but also on our own psyches. For example, some people suffer from seasonal affective disorder as a result of the lack of sunlight. Our ancestors have shown that they understood these subtleties. They placed clues for us to find. All of their rituals, their religions, cults, gods, demigods, all of their lives were linked to the cycles of the universe. We need to visit the term energy and its relationship to the gateway. The reason will become clear, but to explain a little before we continue, energy is simply a term often used by both scientists and mystics, but in different ways, and neither would necessarily agree with the other about the use of the term. This energy, as I am calling it, is nothing more than the serpent fire, solar force or pranic energy of the serpent worshipping mystics of the world. It is the power base that drives the whole process forward. It is also very easy to say that we must have this energy, but we must control it. And yet what is this energy? And have scientists ever discovered it, or even looked for it? Over the course of human history, as we have seen, there have been thousands of individuals who have claimed to experience the enlightenment or illumination, giving rise to the term shining, as far back in our history as we care to go. If it is true that mankind across the world and across time has been having these experiences, and they are very real experiences, then it is true to state that they must be brought on by some kind of energy. This energy is both the electrical charge within the nervous system to the brain, and the chemical and biological reactions within our brain brought on by numerous methods of meditation, prayer and dervish. The connection to the gateway in another mental dimension is also often found to be at specific locations on the Earth with very special energy alignments or properties. These ancient methods and locations were discovered over the course of tens of thousands of years and have been perfected by initiates and adepts of many cults and creeds. The methods do work. They do create altered states of awareness via the electrical, biological and chemical reactions that they generate. The question scientists, among them psychologists, are asking is simply whether the reactions are purely biological functions accidentally discovered by mankind, or are they truly mystical and spiritual capacities of a higher self? In all cases, this energy, or Holy Ghost, that is part of our naturally evolved makeup, is said to be our guide and key to access other worlds, and this is through what we now know to be quantum entanglement and zero-point energy. This leads us nicely back to the term, the void. The void is a much debated and often abused term, and there are many ways of understanding it. I touched on the fact earlier that the atom, space and indeed our own serpentine double helix DNA is by the most part void. These are pretty fundamental things. Space has to be there to keep the planets and stars apart. Everything is made up of the atom, and we are written in our DNA. All these things are also interlinked via electromagnetic wave particle radiation, or quantum mechanics. Would it therefore not make complete sense to see this void as the very location of other dimensions? Is it not peculiar that our ancestors stated that we must go to this void in order to access God? What the mystic, whether Hindu, Muslim Sufi, Christian Gnostic or alchemist, is revealing is the human interpretation of a very real and scientifically theoretical quantum world of the unconscious, the dark matter of the universe itself. This experience is what they termed the real self. The fact, however, remains that the Enlightenment experience happens to humans around the world and has been for a very long time. The fact also remains that it has given rise to the very religions and beliefs to which we adhere today. This other world, envisaged by the ancients and by mystics worldwide, has been physically manifested over time for all to see and for modern science to research. These physical manifestations can be seen in structures like the mandala and in texts such as the Bible. But what we have now discovered is that the location, internally and within the atom, has a title, the void. Via quantum entanglement, modern physicists have found that a subatomic particle would somehow know what another particle was doing, no matter where the other entangled particle was. If scientists are prepared to say that the particle knows what the entangled particle is doing, then how much further is it to say that once conscious of this level of reality, we too could know what the other particles entangled to ours are doing? We are conscious of our biological and chemical reality. Why not then also our quantum level? These other particles to which we are entangled could be part of the universal mind, or even the activity in another valley or even planet. I now wondered about resonance and the sonic abilities of ancient structures such as the Great Pyramid, for my thoughts told me that there had to be a means, and the waveform was just that. To my delight, this had already been deeply investigated by quite a few people, and so there was a lot of evidence to pull on. Experiments carried out by Tom Danley in the King's Chamber of the Great Pyramid and in chambers above the king's chamber suggest that the pyramid was constructed with a sonic purpose. There are 4 resident frequencies, or notes, that are enhanced by the structure of the pyramid and by the materials used in its construction. The notes form an F-sharp chord, which according to ancient Egyptian texts was the harmonic of our planet. Moreover, tests show that these frequencies are present in the king's chamber even when no sounds are being produced. They are there in frequencies that range from 16 Hz down to a half Hz, well below the range of human hearing. These vibrations are caused by the wind blowing across the ends of the so-called air shafts, in the same way as sounds are created when one blows across the top of a bottle. F-sharp is actually the resonant chord of the earth, and the Egyptians knew this. Native American makers of sacred flutes from Oregon also make flutes tuned to the key of F-sharp. Collaborating on a science meets art project, Dr. Deemer attempted to find the vibrational frequencies for 4 base DNA molecules. Cutting all the technical science and bottom lining the whole thing, it was basically found that the pitch which shows up the most frequently and asserted itself as a tonic was F-sharp. It turned out that the frequencies in base DNA are harmonically ordered and perfectly in line with the frequency of the Earth, a secret we have only just discovered, and yet ancient man knew. It seems also that these particular frequencies turned out to be particularly pleasing to the ear, and indeed are thought to aid the healing process. Now, did the ancients know of this correlation between harmonics, stones, the earth, and even electromagnetism? Pythagoras gives us the answer from the 6th century before Christ. He described the stone as frozen music. His intuition apparently told him that the mathematics of frequency occurring in the planets, Earth, and other cycles were in tune and indeed told a story. At the base level, our bodies understand this, and at the heightened, enlightened state, our minds do too. What the ancients did was to build structures which utilised the electromagnetic and harmonic effect, which worked in unison with each other and us. They built in symbolism, power, grandeur, but also the universal harmonic and paramagnetic power. They then ritualised the whole thing into great and magnificent stories, fables, and even developed religions accordingly, worldwide. According to scientists in the field of resonance, the fundamental frequency of the universe is F-sharp. The same scientists tell us that interaction with this fundamental frequency under resonance conditions would result in the exchange of energy and information. But more than this, tests appeared to indicate that subharmonic resonance with a frequency of 1.855 Hz, or the Schumann frequency, actually resulted in the extraction of energy and information from the universe. So, according to science, interaction under the influence of F-sharp actually allows the transference of energy, not only between individuals, but also from the very universe itself. This is directly from the void, from what we believe to be the non-local intelligence centre. We have become balanced genetically with the resonance of the universe and should therefore be able to understand the information we are receiving, even if not at a conscious level, but certainly at the superconscious level. This superconscious level is where we find the other world, which is the place of knowledge to all the ancients. This knowledge is from the very universe itself. It is the universal bank of knowledge that is growing and expanding all the time and in every possible conceivable dimension. Above the King's Chamber in the Great Pyramid is a layer of granite blocks brought hundreds of miles to this particular site. The majority of the pyramid is limestone, and this is important. Limestone is made up of calcium and magnesium carbonate. Calcium carbonate is an excellent receiver of electromagnetic waves. Strangely, it also becomes luminescent when rubbed, giving rise to the phrase limelight. The majority of granite is made up of quartz, which is piezoelectric and is an excellent converter of electromagnetic waves. It is formed via a serpentine spiraling motion and is known as a quantum converter, transmitting energy information at a magnified rate. Basically, by putting large granite blocks above the King's Chamber, I conjecture that the chamber was in fact a massive crystal receiver. It could also be conjectured that it would transmit information as well, given sufficient energy resources, such as making loud noises. There are yet more strange coincidences, however, that I found regarding quartz in the pyramid. Quartz grows in a particular geometric pattern, as do all crystals. In this instance, quartz grows in the form of a triangle or pyramid at an angle of 51.43 degrees, the same as the outer walls of the Great Pyramid. Could this too be a coincidence, or were the ancients matching the angles of this great communicating crystal? Man, it seems, discovered intuitively these wondrous and incredible natural mathematical phenomena and made them real and physical. Surely, I thought to myself, if there were going to be any physical construction that would aid the quantum communication that we in the modern age have neglected, then it would have to be a magnificent mathematical pattern. Following a trip to see memory champion Dominic O'Brien and his binaural beat machine, which balances out brainwave patterns to specific frequencies, he decided to test what he tentatively called the Holy Grail frequency, alternating frequencies of alpha and theta of 7.83 Hz that I recommended on various subjects. The resultant effects caused were exactly what I predicted, with feelings of a presence and all manner of spiritual experiences. One person said he was in another place with lucid scenes of flowers and cows. This amazing other place is the other world. Others perceived it as a psychedelic show or just slipped off to sleep. Either way, as Dominic said, early indications are that this is a great healing frequency. In the 1950s, a physicist by the name of Professor Schumann, then at the Technical University of Munich, wanted to give his students some exercises in the physics of electricity. Part of this involved some work on Ball condensers. Giving the students a hypothetical situation involving these ball condensers and electricity, he told them to imagine that the ionosphere was one ball and the Earth itself another. He then told them to calculate the results. Schumann himself had no idea what the result would be, and so decided that he needed to do the calculations himself too. He came up with the answer of approximately 6 to 10 Hertz. Amazingly, this rough calculation turned out to be the approximate resonance of the Earth itself, a perfectly natural resonance that mankind has lived with and evolved with for millions of years. The frequency fluctuates over time as energy discharges, such as lightning. But this has now also been proven to affect the human mind. This Schumann resonance, or resonant cavity on the Earth, produces rhythmic waves that entrain our own.
Need 3 and 2 kids.
Proof that we are part and parcel, connected to this Schumann resonance, comes from, of all places, NASA in the United States. NASA found that astronauts returning to Earth were reporting feelings of distress and disorientation. To counter this, it was hypothesized that by emitting artificial Schumann waves in the spacecraft that the problem may be averted. It worked. It seems therefore that man feels stress when distanced from his mother. We are in tune with the very earth upon which we live. What has shocked many is that this same frequency level is the very same as our Holy Grail frequency. It is the middle or centre ground between alpha and theta. At the time, Schumann had no idea of the profundity of his discovery, but reported the results regardless. Now the frequency is called the Schumann resonance in his honour. However, Schumann passed on the research to Herbert Koenig to carry on the work. Koenig produced extensive experiments to measure the resonance of the Earth and found a more exact measurement to be 7.83 Hertz, exactly between alpha and theta. There can be no coincidence in nature. All things are the way they are due to evolution. There is always a reason, and so there must be a reason for mankind, and in fact mammals also, to be in perfect frequency harmony with our Mother Earth. Our internal rhythms are affected by external rhythms. The magnetic field of the Earth and the electrostatic field that emerges from our own bodies are interwoven. It seems our minds are entrained to the outside influence of the Earth's resonance. It also seems from my research that mankind actually found methods of improving or magnifying this resonance with the use of granite and quartz crystal. The amplification of these signals actually promotes a coherent and large-scale activity of electromagnetic frequency signals in the brain, making the mental effects more profound and more easily perceived. However, being conscious of these effects is much more than being conscious of the Earth's own resonance in tune with our own. It is the act of being conscious which allows us to alter this reality. By being aware of our surroundings and the images we perceived whilst in the hypnagogic and attuned to the Earth's resonance, we can then make conscious decisions. These decisions have electromagnetic frequency signals and alter the level of activity inside our own brain, which, as we have seen, are interwoven with the Earth's field. This is exactly what we have seen with the shaman. who claimed that he was capable of not only going through into the other world, but was also able to alter reality. In pure consciousness, where we are not aware of the hypnagogic state, we can only affect the physical reality by physical means. In the unconscious world, we may perceive the unconscious realm, but we are not conscious of it and can therefore make no decisions. In the hypnagogic or lucid dreaming state, we are conscious of the unconscious mind, and therefore the elemental connection we have to the universe around us and the holistic nature of that realm. We then consciously attempt to alter the dream state world that we find ourselves in, and thereby alter our own reality. A true adept would have huge creative powers at his or her disposal in the dream world. At a quantum level, these powers actually come through into the physical reality via the wave-particle matter phenomena. This is what the ancient Shining Ones called magic. Today, even physicists are coming around to this ancient magic. In The Conscious Universe, by Dr. Radin of the University of Nevada, we find that there is a growing belief in the interconnectedness of the field of consciousness between people and physical objects. They even believe that this phenomenon is capable of transcending time and space, just as the ancient shaman once claimed. It is believed that at the subatomic or quantum level, physical reality is nothing more than energy information. This is the same level of reality that the shaman believed he could transcend. These methods I now know to be entraining the brain into alpha theta, or the Holy Grail frequency, and through years of preparation and training to consciously perceive and affect the energy information field he or she finds. Affecting reality at the subatomic or quantum level therefore realizes a physical reality change, such as the amazing feats of healing that the shaman seems to manifest. These effects could also be understanding foreign languages by comprehending the meaning of the emitted waves, levitation, out-of-body experiences, placing and extracting energy information from quartz crystal skulls, conversing with animals, and even, via transcending time and space, prophesying future events. It is also interesting to note that the biggest increase ever recorded in the Schumann resonance occurred in 1987 at the same time as the so-called harmonic convergence, when millions of people gathered at sacred sites around the world to pray and meditate together. This gathering was brought about by an understanding of the supposed prophecies of Quetzalcoatl and the beginning of the end times, as well as some Asian and European astrological alignments. The prophecy goes that following the ninth hell, humanity as a whole would enter a new age of enlightenment, and we would have a new era of peace. Unfortunately, as this ninth hell supposedly ended in August 1987, we are still waiting for the new era of peace. At the same time, there was a subtle convergence of planets, which may also have had a gravitational and electromagnetic effect upon the Schumann resonance. What this exercise does show, however, is the possible effect of the collective consciousness of mankind on the Schumann resonance, or even the effect of planetary alignments. The Schumann resonance is tinkering around the 11 Hz mark, although it changes quite often. Could this increase since the 1950s be an indication of the collective consciousness of mankind at war with itself, or are the planets themselves affecting our consciousness? If mankind has evolved with this frequency over millions of years, what would be the effect of changing this frequency? Would mankind evolve on a more rapid basis, and into what? The consequences of mankind's input into the natural world around him will have far-reaching effects that I cannot even imagine. But the fact remains that if I affect the earth, it will affect me. We are, in essence, waking up a sleeping giant and closing the gateway.
и защищающее, и предстательствующее, и защищающее. И же общий праздник ныне совершаешь и светло. Мужа